Yes, we're up. We're up. YouTube, people, YouTube. Oh,
Which one? Which one is it?
the thing is, which one's using me mic and which one ain't? Your channel.
Yes, you were. I can hear you. You're on my computer.
Right. I'm live then. Right. Okay. Okay. See you in a bit. Bye. Right. Can anybody fucking hear me?
I can.
You can. Right. So, hang on. Let me shut this fucking lot down here. Put that on there. Cut
I've
that
drunk
down
all my
like
coffee.
that.
I've smoked all my fags,
Hang
and I've
on.
learnt a few new swear words.
Yeah. Oh, where's my StreamYard gone?
And we've got 12. While you're getting yourself sorted, I'm going to get more coffee. Do you want one?
No, I'm all right. I've got half a can of Coke here. Thank you. Oh, right. Where are we? We've got 19 people in. Welcome, people.
Yay!
Mrs. W can hear me here. Can you all hear me there? We're only nearly at 2 hours late. Good evening, Paulette, Missy Moon, Michael, Stitch, Holly on a different account, iBox, Stuart. Right. What a fucking palaver. I really don't know what's been occurring there, people. I just thought I'd nip back and try, and the evening either. So I'm only going to be on for an hour or two anyway. So now we've got to get going live. Jesus. What an absolute shit show. Well, it does appear. Good evening, Lee, Ivor, Stuart. Yeah, I don't know what's happened there. I scheduled it. Ricky, good evening, mate. And it would seem that, yes, it's YouTube pissing about. I thought it was just me being picked on, basically. Right, well, let's get that up there, being as we're running late. Oh, and I've still got to go into StreamYard Studio because it's got the fucking horrible hearts on there. Right. Bear with me a minute, guys. Your channel. No, that's not where I go. Hang on. Right. Live. Go in there. Manage. Go in there. Edit. Good evening, Drone. I'm just having a meltdown here. Hang on a minute. Let's get rid of them. There's nothing worse than having them fucking hearts floating up and down the... Right, where are we now? Come on, come on. Don't fuck me about again now. There we go. Dronophobic. Sorry, mate. Right, that's got rid of the hearts. Let's get rid of that. I want them up there. And there we go. And you know what? I'm going to need a bloody fag now. Jesus. Hi, Jan. Bleach Demon. Apparently, it's not me, guys. It's YouTube. I'm not the only one that's been having issues. So they've obviously sorted it. But how are we all tonight? I've got to
Ready for a party now.
let me blood pressure come down a little bit. How fucking ridiculous was that? Where's my coffee?
Sorry.
Well, I don't know where you are either, but you'd probably have some distance to travel to come and get it, mate.
You're only around the corner, you're welcome.
No, I've never seen that before. And the trouble with me is I tend to panic simply because I don't know enough about the tech. You know, I don't know whether it's me, them.
And if they can do it to Rev, they can do it to you.
Torbs was having problems as well, was he, Ricky? It's turning me to drink, says Moo. Moo, you're not the only one, mate. It's just as well I gave up the devil's lettuce because I wouldn't be complis mentis now with the shit that's been going on here tonight. But we got there. We got there. Oh, fucking hell. Well, a lot's been going on this week, hasn't it? I mean, the big hype, obviously, yesterday was the eclipse. Pardon me.
The end of the world.
The end of the world as they thought it. But having seen one before, a full total eclipse back in, when was it, 1999? And a partial one, a good 60-70% one here, not so many years ago. You know, I knew what was going to happen. And it is a very, very weird sensation. Good evening, Tony. 1999, yeah, Rick. We were, it was all hyped up in Cornwall because obviously Cornwall and Devon was going to be the place to best view it. Now, we were working or had work scheduled for that day on a roof right in on top of a cliff on a house right at the seafront. It's was it Morganporth? Yeah, Morganporth. And literally, they ruined it. They overhyped it. And people just didn't come. Simply because there's only one major route by road into Cornwall, as you know, which is the A30. Now, there was farmers, campsites, all sorts of people rented extra fields. They had portable toilets put in. They got special licenses. They ordered more beer. And no fucker came because everybody was frightened that the roads were going to be jammed. Even the Cornwall police, Cornwall and Devon police, rented, I think it was 15 small trail bikes so they could get around if the traffic was bad. But most people didn't come. A lot of companies went bust over it as well. But stood on top of the scaffold up on top of this house we were reslating, you could look out to the Atlantic. Now, you could see the shadow as it came across the water. It wasn't pitch dark, but it was a very, very eerie darkness, almost like a haze, a blue darkness. But the thing that struck me most was the fact that the birds stopped singing. They all went to roost. I found out a couple of days later from the guys that were fishing that the fishing just fucking died for quite a few hours around it. But it was an experience. It's something I doubt if I'll ever see in my lifetime again, because I shall be probably long gone before the next one. Resist, good evening, bud. But yeah, it was very, very strange. I mean, the locals were having what they call eclipse parties. I mean, the little old ladies that lived next door to the house where we were working on, they were cooking us burgers and hot dogs and all sorts all morning while we were waiting for it. And I did give them a bit of a laugh. I was running up and down the roof with a cross made from a couple of roofing battens, go shouting, "Dad, Dad, turn the fucking lights back on, Willie." Luckily enough, the two old ladies laughed. They weren't very religious. But yeah, it's certainly... Isn't that when the portal between the underworld and... oh, of course, that's not on fucking StreamYard, is it? Yes, Dan. I'll tell you what, if I could create a portal, I'd have done it. Believe me. But I was literally... This was my last ditched effort to get on. If it hadn't worked this time, I'd have quit for the night. But this does save me doing one tomorrow or Friday. It was only because I clicked on StreamYard and YouTube's banner was coming up all the time. But anyway, does anybody else have anything to say on the eclipse? Did any of you experience the last one? Resist on walking, listening, can't add to chat. That's all right, bud. But you just type that.
Yeah, but he wants to keep walking. He doesn't want to keep stopping.
You saw the 99 one in France. Yeah, Highbox. I mean, it was overhyped in Cornwall. It really was. I mean, literally, if you went to the local tip the day afterwards, there was boxes and boxes of those eclipse glass things that they did. Holly's only cared about hell divers. Well, that's what happens when you're a gamer, isn't it? I don't do gaming. It doesn't interest me. Mind games, yeah, don't mind one or two of those.
Well, you gained another sub for your persistence.
Have I?
Yeah, 561 now.
I had 561 before I come up. But if there is any of the new subs in the background there watching, welcome. Thank you for supporting this here little channel. And that's all I ever do ask for, is that you watch. I don't ask for anything else. I don't monetize. I'll never have it. Never monetize. I don't ask for coffees, buy me a coffee, anything like that.
You just get me to make you one.
Well, yeah, I don't need to when I've got you, do I? But no, there is. I can't see the point in me monetizing. Yes, sure. It does go up and down. I think I've got more watching, but what YouTube are doing is each time I seem to get some new subs, it drops back down to an original number, like 559 this morning. It may drop back down to that tomorrow, because I think what YouTube do is go back. Okay, you got 2 new subs, right? We're going to knock 2 of the old ones off that aren't commenting or coming into the channel. But they just hold me back. I mean, I don't publicise myself that well anyway, because I've never wanted a big channel. No, Missy, I won't bring out any merch or anything like that. The only thing that gets moved through my channel is like last time when I bought the new mic, it came with a stand. I didn't need it, so I just put it out there. If anybody want it, wanted it, they could have it. It was brand new in the box. And who was it? One of the subscribers, Kaz. Those of you know Kaz, her son was just starting up a gaming channel. And she said she could use it for him for that. So absolutely fine. So that was off in the post to her the next day. Yeah, Highbox, that is one of the issues. If you're monetized, you're in the partnership, you have to explain everything that you're doing on every bloody video, how much swearing's in it, is it made for this, is there that into it? And I can't be doing with that shit. I mean, I've said it on the videos before. I have modified the way I do my videos quite a bit to stay within the rules or as close to them as I can. Obviously, swearing is going to be dicked around with before long. They won't be putting up with that. There was something on Facebook about they were doing away with bad language, cursing and bad humour. But that was too close to April Fool's Day for me to take any notice of, to be honest. Yeah, they do, Stuart. I mean, they've been on my back right from day one. I mean, I think I only lasted a week or so before I got pulled down for a week the first time. And then they pulled me down the second time. Apparently, allegedly, both under the same guise of medical misinformation, which it wasn't. It was just the way I put the information forward with links. A link to an article. Apparently, they didn't like it, so they classed it as misinformation. But it wasn't. It came from the health service, and they probably just didn't like the link. But we know how they operate. We know they won't give a reason. I mean, you've only got to look at what they've done to the Rev on his main channel over Going Live. They banned him from streaming from that channel, but they've given no viable reason or excuse. And basically, they've been laughing at him. WhatsApp will probably disappear before Facebook, Jen. That's the one they're really into, and they're really sussing it out, because that's the one that obviously all the politicians have been using to contact each other. No, Dave the Plant didn't help him, Beach Demon. Paul, good evening, mate. Yeah, not too bad, buddy. Still getting the fatigue. I was on my way to bed, more or less, not so long back, because YouTube were dicking about and not letting anybody stream. But well, but we've still got the same numbers up. We've managed to get up with a bodge stream. I just didn't put anything in it, just opened it up, and away we went. A Santa beard trimmed will suffice.
Very true.
But yeah, so much has been happening this week. I mean, obviously, as I just talked about, the eclipse. But I mean, Roland's at it again now. I can't remember where it was on, but he was doing an interview today. It might have been LBC, it might have been Talk TV. I can't remember. But he said we've got 20,000 more coppers on the streets of England and Wales. Well, that was immediately contradicted by the policing minister, who said since 2010 we've only got 4,000 extra police on the streets in England and Wales. So who's right? Lying Roland Rat or the policing minister for the Tories? everything that fucking idiot comes out with contradicts everything else. Like, to stop the boats, we're stopping the boats. No. We've seen that. They're not stopping the boats. They've got no interest in stopping the boats. Good evening, Graham. Flying visit. You're lucky that it's that, mate, because we've only just gone live. YouTube has been fucked up again. Oh, shit. Something's bitten me. I'll just put some antiseptic on that. Scudges, good evening. Yeah, there seems to be an awful lot of issues with YouTube lately on all of them. But now let me just put some on there, stop that itching. But yeah, I mean, these people that have been going down for murdering the kid, you know, they're giving them life sentences again. But come on, 20 years for killing a kid? It's nowhere near enough. Nowhere near enough. You know, and with the shit with fucking useless in Scotland, well, they might as well just throw that clown out. But the changes that are going on, I mean, you know, if you look at the big picture, you got Labour leaning towards the right, you got the Tories starting to lean towards the left with things they're saying. Yeah, Graham, I believe in that, mate. If it's life, then it should be life. No mitigating circumstances, especially for someone that murders a kid like that. I mean, that poor little fucker must have suffered something chronic. You know, it disgusts me. It really does. It really does disgust me when they see things like that. And you know, you put that against what was his name, Sam Amelia, whatever. 2 years for having stickers. But someone who's murdered a kid only gets like 18 years more, 20 years more. This is where the justice system in this country is so screwed. Yeah, there will still be people that vote SNP, iBox.
I think I'm related to one.
Annie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she lives up there, doesn't she?
Yeah.
I'm not being very restrained here.
I didn't get a chance to talk politics at the wedding. It might have been interesting.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Everybody up there's moaning about what he's doing and what the SNP have done, yet they keep voting for him.
I was going to say they voted him in.
It's the same with that corrupt cunt. Oh, I shouldn't have used that word. I hate using that word, but he is one. Khan. You know, I'm convinced with the amount of people that stood up against him and spoke out about him before the last time he got in as mayor, there was no way on this earth he should have won that election. I think this one might be a bit different. If he wins this one, then there is something amiss. Definitely something amiss. Please, the government and the police never lie. Yeah, moo. Not behind closed doors, but they'll lie quite happily to us. We know that. I mean, Roland is... I don't think he's got an honest fucking bone in his body, to be honest. Yes, Ollie. It's not a word I use very often. I don't like to use it. To me, it's It's just a word that shouldn't be used in public. But the rest of it, yeah, I really don't give a fuck. I'll use that. I mean, I always put on my videos, they're not for kids. But yeah, this is what I'm saying, Missy. If he wins it this time, there's something seriously wrong there. Yeah, and this is the other thing, Stuart, is he was kicking up about the photo ID. Now, why would he do that? You need photo ID to vote. Does he have people that work around that? You know, you get someone go in with a burqa on, as long as they've got a card and they don't have to take it off. That could be the same for person voting for half a dozen or a dozen or more people, just going round in a circle. Maybe there's a whole line of them that goes out the back door, comes back round and queues up at the front again. But it pisses me off. You walk into a bank or any building like that, you got a helmet or a cap on or whatever, a face covering. They insist you remove it. Peppercorn Prince from Michigan, Detroit. Good evening. Sorry about the fuck up for the live tonight if you were waiting. YouTube hasn't been playing the game again. But welcome to you. Peppercorn Prince, so I would say you're definitely a male unless you're identifying as something else, which would mean you're pretending to be. Yeah, Highbox, well, this is the thing. I think on stuff like that, they should be made to remove them. I mean, France has done it. France has banned them altogether, hasn't it? So, I mean, I had it many, many years ago with a bank. This is before all this shit. You know, I'm going back 30, 40 years probably. I went into my bank with a full face helmet on. You're a male. Thank you, buddy. Just wanted to confirm that.
Just so he doesn't blow you a kiss.
They asked me to remove my helmet, which I reluctantly did. And then I proceeded to ask them to write a banker's draft out for every penny, bar a penny that was in my account. And when they questioned why, I said, well, that's not how I operate, mate. If I've got my bank card there, or back in then it was a book or whatever, I said, it's my money. I sign for it. You give it me. You don't need to see who I am. You don't need to see who they are now on internet banking. So why should you be asked to remove them? Yeah, but that's another story, Peppercorn. You know, like I always say, if you got a dick, you ain't no chick. But as it's been removed, then you're somewhere in between. There's only one group of people that I wouldn't mock over things like that, and that is hermaphrodites. Obviously, they're born with both sets of genitalia usually. So obviously one has to be removed. But even with those, it does cause a lot of grief, a lot of mental health issues.
Well, the problem is, if you've got two sets of genitalia, you're brought up as a boy. But then when you hit puberty, if your breasts develop and your male genitalia doesn't, what happens then? You've lived most of your life as a young man, and then suddenly your body lets you down.
Well, there's that young lad, the piano player, whatever, he killed himself over it, didn't he? Hi, Sue.
Well, Ben went to school with a young man that had that problem, and he struggled for years because they want kids. But yeah, he's got the scars where he had to have his breast removed.
But now you got, they're slowly realising that how all this pushing these multiple agendas on kids and how it's screwing them up. Now, there was a guy faced Sunak. Well, not faced him. It was a live show and with a call-in. And they were talking about the NHS. And this guy was saying, well, I've been waiting to see a doctor. He was having mental health issues, bad ones. And I think he'd said he'd been waiting, I don't know, 5, 6 years just to get an appointment with his doctor to be diagnosed.
It was 5 years, and now he's got to wait another year before he can.
Can you let me finish the bloody story, please? Because you just jumped straight to the fucking end of it. Now, he asked Sunak why this was. Evening Lodger. And Sunak said, well, we're putting money into it. We're clearing the backlog. It's all getting better. It's going to be fixed soon. And he went into his usual bullshit. To which this guy turned around and said, well, I'm calling you out. He said, because basically now, yes, I've seen the doctor. He's agreed I need treatment. But he's also said I could be waiting over a year or two to receive that treatment. To which he said, well, what was the point of going and seeing the fucking doctor then? He said, I could top myself in 2 years quite easily. And Sunak just went into one. He just went on with his general spiel. And he used, and in fact, there's a video out there of it. He actually used it as a political lever to try and have a dig at fucking Labour. You know, this guy's waited over 5 years to see a doctor and get diagnosed, and now he's got to wait possibly another 2 years before he even gets treatment. It's, how can he say they're fixing the problem? He keeps saying they're bringing the waiting list down. Well, they're not. The waiting lists are going up, and the waiting times are still going up. This is why they leave people in the ambulances outside until they're ready for them. Because that way you're not registered as going into A&E. So therefore you're one that doesn't have to be accounted for on the waiting times. They'll get rid of one and get another one in. So there's no real waiting time extension. Because the time, the hours, I spent 4 or 5 hours in an ambulance when I had my stroke. You know, why? There wasn't that many in A&E when I did get in there. Heather was the same when she dislocated her artificial hip. We waited nearly 5 hours for an ambulance to turn up. Then she was laid in a corridor on a trolley for another 5 hours before anybody even looked at her. No,
if they'd have looked, get my medication.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, and the cancer ones are the worst, Jen. You know, the number of patients now that are being diagnosed with cancer, especially in the younger generations. Oh, we know why it's happening. Experts have come out and said why it's happening. The only ones that are denying it are the NHS and the government. You know, we need a government that we can trust. We need one that will tell us the truth of things. If they have a go and they try and fix something and it doesn't work, absolutely fine. They've had a go. But this lot aren't even trying. I mean, the Rwanda shit. I've always said there's not enough accommodation and they haven't got facilities to take more than a few hundred. Well, we get more than that most days coming across the channel. But it seems now that Rwanda has sold off about 70% is one figure I saw of the accommodation that they've got to hold these people, to house them. Now, is that stuff that we paid for to have built? Did our government pay for that? Who knows? But they're just wasting millions every time they open their mouth. Yeah, they sold them off, Sue. Somebody said about 70% of them. Is this people that have bought them within view of renting them to our government for people when they get there? But the amount we need to get rid of, it ain't going to happen. Yes, so it is. It's done. It's a waste of time, waste of money, always has been. Just like all the money we've thrown at the French, getting them to stop it. With what they're doing, that's why I got a bit annoyed yesterday when I did the video about the changing of the guard and the Entente Cordiale agreement. Now, that was put in place in 1904 to help Anglo relationships, including the trade, as I said in yesterday's video. All right, Lost Souls, no worries, sweetheart.
Okay,
I will
Ollie.
catch up
Speak
with you
soon.
tomorrow. And Mr. Grumpy, if you're listening there. Where was I? Oh, yeah, the thing. Hi, Gabby. Yeah, I mean, to come over celebrating that with what the French haven't done for us over the years. I mean, I did list some of the things they have done, and none of it was good. They'll be moving into our council house if you refuse. Yeah, that's already happening, Stuart, in some areas. But yeah, I don't believe we should be doing any dealings with France whatsoever. And the last thing we should be doing is giving them fucking money. No, the French have said they were stopping them on the beaches. Well, they won't, because there's hundreds of them on the beach when they launch these boats. And unless they go in there with an army, the French police will run away. And we've actually heard radio chatter backwards and forwards and seen radar movement of the boats live. Where the French Navy are meeting them maybe a mile or two offshore once they've got in the water, escorting them to the middle of the channel and then handing them over to Border Force, which is another group that has been given money and they've never produced the goods that we've paid for. And this is happening more and more. More and more money being thrown at the NHS, but it's getting worse. So where's that money going? It's obviously not going into the front line. It's probably going into management. Like, who is it that was... Oh, the local council here in Birmingham. Now, they've already put the council tax way up. They've openly said they're going to be dropping a load of services. So where's this extra money going? They've laid people off from the council. They've cut down their hours. But somebody's receiving that extra money that they're getting in. They had a big bailout from the government as well. Where's that gone? There's a lot of questions being asked. We're not getting any answers. Yes, so the boats do quite often go beyond the centre and the channel, and they do go into the French waters to take them. And the only thing that stops them is the weather. That's the only thing that stops them. And it's simply because they've got too much on offer for them once they get here. If we start kicking them out, that would show willing, but they won't do it. Zebra crossings in funny colours. Yeah, they've been pissed off over in America with that, haven't they? A lot of them are being painted over, Stu. Yeah, and that's the issue, Sue. That is the issue. It always has been. With anybody connected with the government, like councils, police, whatever, they are paid extortionate amounts of money for zero results. You know, as I said earlier, Sunak's bleating on about 20-odd thousand more police, when the policing minister says we've only had 4,000 extra in the last 10 years. Evening, young Jack. How are you, little buddy? Finally got to go live. Nothing's worked out as intended, and it's thrown me right out of whack tonight. I had notes organised here, but I piled them all up into a bloody heap. And but thank you all for bearing with me and dropping in. I mean, I dare say we will get some weird explanation from YouTube eventually, but I wouldn't hold up the hopes on that one. You know, they're a law unto themselves. And unfortunately, it's only going to get worse from what I can see. I mean, Sunak was dead against the new law in Scotland. And he openly said that, but you can guarantee that slimy, greasy little bastard was watching what happens over it. And now he's seen the way people have turned on it. And even the police up there, a lot of them have said, we're not going to enforce it. We can't. It's ridiculous. Yeah, exactly, Stuart. I believe the government and the police should be paid on results, not just the salary they demand, which they've put up again for themselves this year, by the way. But if they don't produce results, then they shouldn't get paid. I mean, most of the wankers in there don't need the money from us.
Hello.
Evening, young'un.
Hold on. Is my microphone working this time?
Eh?
Yeah, it is. Is my microphone working?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing was working earlier. The YouTube wasn't allowing any streaming up.
I noticed because when I clicked on the link in Dan's Discord, it just said that it was removed by the upload. I'm thinking, hey, that's not normal.
Yeah, what I did, I'd had one scheduled. I did it earlier on today. Went to go live at the appropriate time, and that was the first time that message came up on the screen. Was YouTube at the moment are having issues? Nobody can schedule a live, and nobody can go live.
Wait, actually put that on your screen, did it?
Yeah. I put a screenshot in Discord in the general chat. I think it was. Was it? It might have been on my private one. But yeah, there was, and it actually came up on StreamYard as well.
Okay.
When I clicked into StreamYard to try and schedule another one, because I tried to schedule a few to try and get one to work.
Yeah.
That didn't work, so I removed all of them. So I thought, okay, Holly said, well, try streaming just through StreamYard, okay, through YouTube. You won't be able to bring anybody up on the panel or nothing. But even that, it was giving me the live chat, but it wouldn't let me go live.
Weird.
So I was just literally about to shut down for the night, thinking, fuck it, we're not getting anywhere here.
Okay.
And I went into StreamYard again just to have a quick look, and that notice had disappeared. So I'm thinking, oh, hang on. If I press go live now, what's going to happen? And boom, all of a sudden, we're live.
It's probably just a YouTube issue, isn't it?
But
Probably just a YouTube issue, to be honest.
yeah, Holly said there's other people. One of the drama guys, Tube Torb or whatever his fucking name was, apparently he tried to go live and couldn't. And there were several others. So it, you know what I'm like. Oh, it's me. They're after me again, but apparently they're not.
To be honest, you'd be very surprised at the people they actually go after on YouTube that they want to silence.
Well, they do tend to go for the bigger ones. As we know, the Revs had a load of problems with them.
Mm-hmm.
But YouTube is having so many issues at the moment. There's a lot of people that are actually turning YouTube off. They're just not bothering anymore because there's so many issues. I can't take the rejection, says Michael. What's that about?
The thing we sorry.
Don't know if there's any buffering here, Michael.
Usually, so in the YouTube, I'm not sure if you got this up or not, but when you live stream, you basically get a dashboard for the live stream itself.
Yeah,
and it tells you the stream health and everything. It tells you if it's excellent. If it's excellent or whatever, then you haven't got any issues to worry about. But a lot of the times, if it's buffering on someone's end, it's only two options. It's either the person that is watching the stream, or it's the person that's actually hosting the stream. Those are the only two. So if it's buffering on your end,
I got no buffering.
It's probably just a case of well, how can I put it? Your internet's shit. Pardon my French.
Or the computer's trying to do something else at the same time. There's all sorts of reasons for it, but yes.
Yeah.
The fact that one person has buffering, it's their end, not
bandwidth is a major part as well regarding that. If you haven't got enough bandwidth, then it will buffer. But obviously, your computer can also be a factor as well, or whatever you're watching it on.
Well, I've got no issues with this computer. And I do regularly check the internet speed here.
Mm-hmm.
We're constantly up around the 500. So, we're actually getting what BT says we should be getting.
What, 500 megabits a second?
Yeah. Obviously, the upload, download, or the other speed, whatever it is a lot lower. But that's also always within acceptable levels.
Upload would always be lower than download, but if it's within the acceptable range that they say, then that's fine. But what I noticed as well, I mean, it's obvious anyway, but your internet speed or your bandwidth tends to be higher at times. I don't know, if say you're on it till stupid o'clock in the morning, right? You're obviously going to get better speed then because not a lot of people's going to be on the computer.
Yeah,
on the internet.
You've got no businesses open.
Yeah.
We're quite lucky here because not too many people have gone with BT yet.
Yeah. Oh, so you went back to them, did you?
No. We were originally before we were on Virgin before BT.
Mm-hmm.
But we'd been on Virgin since it's been took over since it took over, Blue Yonder, because that's what the connection and everything was here. It was still on Blue Yonder.
But
That's
they,
how
Wow.
old it was.
they wanted to make us pay for an engineer to come out and fix the wires because it was on our property.
So go
Well,
fuck yourself.
Hold on a minute. Why would you want? Why would that don't make any sense? I
It's
don't.
because we were on a very old system with a
But
very old
they should be the one replacing it for free, or they should be one replacing
Yeah.
replacing it out of their pocket, not out of yours.
Well,
If
that's why we left them.
That's why we left. We told it, go fuck yourselves. We'll go with someone else. And yeah, BT aren't renowned for their backup service, but
no, well, the
we-
video
we
that you
haven't-
put out, what, I don't know how many years ago now. I mean, if you click on the popular button on the video section of your channel, your video, I think it's the second highest rated video of your channel.
Where
think
they
so.
let us down with the installation.
yeah,
Yeah, when
Yeah.
like you, yeah.
But we
Yeah,
had
it was just, second highest rated video on your channel.
yeah. The highest one was the fishing one from
The
Sullivan.
fishing one, yeah.
But we let them carry on and put it in, and yeah, we got here eventually, and we've had no issue with it since we've
Yeah.
got it. But
The
And
thing is, though,
Full
they should
fibre
honor
as
that.
well.
They should be the one to compensate you for that. Like if you, like you said on the video, if you,
They
stated-
did. They gave us some off,
Oh.
and they gave us a certain amount of free internet. Was it a month or so?
I can't remember.
We got about a month free off them.
and you know why? Because you, well, basically complaining.
Because I had to pay
and-
for another month with Virgin,
Yeah,
so
good.
we were
Right.
out of pocket because they had somebody off sick, so they had to at least give us that difference. And
The
then-
issue with it though, which is what pissed me off when I saw the video. I mean, I've seen it several times anyway, but is the fact that you give them enough notice, right? And you state it, and when you told them when you booked for their engineer to come out and do whatever or whatever they needed to do, right, and get the internet sorted, you stated there were specific reasons why you needed the internet, which is why it's a high priority compared to say other people, right? Other people probably wouldn't be bothered if they had to wait a little bit longer, but in your circumstances, you needed the internet for lots of reasons, and you stated it. Now, I've heard of company, well, BT for example, where they haven't actually honored their word, like the situation you was in at the time, and they didn't honor it, and they wanted to put money up, so they wanted to charge their customer more money because they were refusing to pay for their bill because they weren't willing to come out.
It's like Gabby's
and-
put there. They're chasing me for £77, but I was never a customer. I cancelled. But it's like the gym services. You know, you take out a membership, you don't want to be there anymore, but they won't cancel your membership. And I won't pay for a service I'm not getting.
Yeah, it's like if that is, I mean, just make sure that any direct debits or whatever, or however it gets taken out, just, I mean,
Heather's on the ball with that. Don't you
Yeah.
worry, mate.
yeah,
If somebody don't deserve paying, they don't get fucking paid. Believe me.
yeah. No, it's
And
cra-
I
it
have
is
no
crazy.
control over that because Heather was here many years in this house
Mm.
before me. So obviously all utility bills and everything come from her bank account.
Mm-hmm.
So what we've done is the benefits I get go straight into her account, not mine,
Yeah,
which is fair enough. She pays all the bills. You know, if I need any money, she'll quite happily give me some. But
yeah.
I've got no reason to need any money at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, but she always makes sure there's some in my bank, you know, for my direct debits and shit like that.
Yeah.
but they can't understand why the bloke doesn't pay. Shall I say? Well, what doesn't matter who pays as long as you get paid.
BT
Yeah.
don't even know you're here, I don't think.
Yeah, good. My name isn't on the internet or anything like that because
Yeah.
it's Heather's account. So she had
I
to
think,
account in her name.
to be completely honest with you, a good example of a big scam, like one of the most biggest scams you could probably ever think of, off the top, well, at least I can think of at the top of my head, is so obviously you got different types of contracts. It'd be a SIM only, basically SIM only contracts, for your SIM, your airtime plan, right? Now you can get like 30-day rolling contracts, so it will basically renew every 30 days. You just pay whatever, and if you want to upgrade, you can choose to upgrade, right? But one of the biggest scams is it's the yearly, it's the 1, 2, or 3 yearly contracts, right? Not the phone contracts, although it's debatable. It's the SIM. Now, looking at how much you'd pay, I mean, I worked it out. So O2, I was looking about maybe reducing the amount that I pay on my bill, right? Because I used to be a Virgin. Well, at least I say I. It's not in my name though.
You're a virgin.
Yeah. Well, we still are. We still are. But
I didn't get the gist of that.
no.
You
I think
started off saying, I used to be a virgin.
no, I used to be with. No.
It's one better than
before they merged with O2, so now they're Virgin Media O2 and OT or whatever they're called. Obviously they moved everyone over when the merge, like everyone that was on Virgin Mobile
was because her mobile was with
Yeah.
Virgin. Virgin are going just internet only, and they've handed all their mobile services to
Yeah.
O2.
And I will be changing because I'm sick of the fucking scam calls.
Yeah, and since that's happened, she has nothing but bloody scam calls coming in from people professing to be from O2.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it's easy to figure it out because for one, why would O2 or why would a phone company ring you about promotional deals? Because that's all we're getting at the minute.
O2 will never
I know.
ring you.
I know.
They've
Yeah.
openly said that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't usually get them, but I've had 2 on this pay-as-you-go thing, which is with GiftGaff, funny enough.
It's crazy because it is, honestly.
Well, the second one I scared the shit out of because I asked who they were, and they said, "Oh, it's O2." I said, "Well, why would you be calling West Midlands Police then?" I said, "You've just dialed a West Midlands Police mobile phone. Why are you ringing?" And it was like a big panic in the background, and the line just went dead. And I haven't had any since.
I've started asking the call handler,
Hi, Loafer.
how can they justify working for a company that's running this scam?
Well, the thing is, we tend to play games with them, right? For the sole reason that I mean, we don't spend too much time on the phone, but the time we spend on the phone talking to them and just making them believe that we are making them think that we're gullible enough to actually buy into their scam, right? The longer we're on the phone, almost then the longer because that will prevent someone else from getting scammed that maybe might be vulnerable or whatever, right? Which is why you got all these different scam baiters and stuff out on the internet, YouTube, Twitch, etc., that do this all the time. You've also got Jim Browning as well, which has actually got scammers in India arrested. All these different kind of things. But it's funny because they don't even go for anything, right? If it was legitimate, so you were ringing O2, they would go through security checks. They would probably ask for maybe a security, like a security question, and you'd give them the answers to the security question or whatever the case is, or you might give them other information that is private information, but it wouldn't compromise your security, if that makes sense. It's a thing that they would go with. They wouldn't ask for stuff. So the scammers, they don't ask that kind of thing, right? So my mum, it was about a few days ago when she had a phone call. She put it on loudspeaker. Now they wanted my mum's email address, and she said straight away, "You should have that on record." She didn't give them. She said, "You should have that," because the thing is, they would have that on record if it was O2. If you rang O2, they would have all your information, like so the phone number that you're ringing off. It would then be linked to the email address that it's connected to, like the account pretty much, and all these other things. So they would know all this information. So they wouldn't need to ask, or they wouldn't ask you to verify it over the phone.
I never get any on that one, which is my own personal phone. Now, I've figured out the reason I don't get any scam calls on that one is because that phone never gets connected to the internet.
Yeah.
And that's, I do, because I'm with Vodafone on that one. But what I've got on that is a SIM-only deal.
Yeah.
When I took that one out, it is like a contract, a 12-month contract.
Oh, right, yeah.
I was originally on years ago on the contract where you pay for your phone as you go. Now, last time I renewed with them, well, time before, I said, look, what sort of deals do you do? Cheapest deals on SIM only.
Mm-hmm.
And the cheapest one they did at the time, this was a couple of years back, was just under £6.
Mm-hmm.
That was unlimited calls.
Yeah.
Unlimited texts and 1 gig of data.
Right.
And he said, well, you're not going to get very far on that. I said, no, that's perfect. That's got everything I need. He said, well, you're not going to be able to do YouTube. But I said, I don't even connect the fucking thing to the Wi-Fi. So I don't want it. I said, on that phone, it's text and calls only. I said, so I don't need data. He said, well, you've got to have it because it's connected to that package. I said, all right, yeah, £6 a month. I'll go for that. But last year it went up to £10 something, which is still cheap for a month.
Yeah, yeah.
But again, he said, oh, you're going to miss out on a load of new features.
Like?
I said, well, to be honest, I'd rather miss out on a load of features than pay you fuckers $2,000 for a new fucking phone. I said, I'm quite happy to stick an old card in my old phone. It does everything I need it to do. So why should I pay any more? And the guy at the local Vodafone shop up in town here, he's bloody good. He said, let me see what I can find for you. And he said, that is the lowest one. He said, but what I can do is I can discount it for you for the first 6 months. So even on this month's 12-month contract on there now, half of it I only paid about £6 a month.
Right.
So I'm not paying for something that I'm not going to use.
Well, it's like a lot of companies nowadays, including O2, I might add, one of the big companies that do it. Whenever you go and buy a phone off of them, right? Now, before when it was Virgin, when you had Virgin Media, you could just, or Virgin Mobile, you could buy the phones or whatever, or you could like get them pay a certain amount every month for 24 months or 36 months, right?
Oh, I go back way beyond that, mate. When I first started with Orange, you never had to pay for a phone, even through your contract.
Oh.
They were only too happy to give you a phone because you were taking a contract out with them.
Well,
most of them were like bricks, but
well, now they actually want you to pay an upfront charge, right? And now I asked the customer service representative for O2 on the phone like about a week or two ago. what's the point? Why do we have to pay an upfront cost? And she said that it goes towards the phone, which means that you effectively pay 1 month cheaper. But I'm thinking, hold on a minute. So instead of me paying 24 months, it's 23 months. But how's that going to make it any? That's not going to make it any quicker, right?
Well, it's like these people that are paying upwards of a couple $100 a month for their bloody phone. They do, oh, I'm getting a good deal. I'm like, are you fuck?
For the latest Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, it's around about what, 60 odd pound a month.
If
I
you've
think.
got your own phone, there's SIM contracts out there where you can get unlimited data, unlimited calls, and unlimited texts for less than £30 a month.
Yeah.
As long as you
If there's nothing wrong with your phone, why do you need to upgrade it?
it's
Sure, yeah.
people are turned into phone tarts. As soon as a new model comes out, they've got to have it.
I bought mine off
Doesn't worry me.
Mazuma. They've stopped selling them now, but at one point they used to sell the Recon phones. And I bought one off there, about 60 quid, I think it was at the time. And I've got a SIM only.
Well,
SIM only, dude.
that one is about 10 years old. Still works perfect. It's got the original battery. Still holds the charge for as long as it did the day it was new. That one.
That's the problem with newer phones nowadays. Without professional kit, you cannot take the phone apart.
They're changing that. The law is
Are they?
changing around that for the mobiles. I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay.
That one cost me 30 quid off of eBay.
Mm-hmm.
And it does everything that one does, but that one does get connected to the internet because that is the channel phone.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I can get emails and alerts and all sorts through that one. But the law is changing.
Yeah.
One, they're going to force all mobile manufacturers to use a standard charging connection.
Okay.
So there's no difference.
Standard.
Well, like the Samsung one is different to the iPhone one. All phone manufacturers are going to have to use a standardized connection to charge the phone.
Mm-hmm.
They've also got to start producing them when this law comes in, where the owner can go and buy a new battery and change them like you used to be able to, like I can on them.
Right, okay.
Because that was the biggest complaint, was the fact that the batteries don't last nowhere near as long.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're not going to, because people are constantly using them on the internet. You know, you see the phone zombies everywhere they go.
Mm-hmm.
They've got their head buried in the phone. Well, those batteries, those rechargeable batteries, have only got a certain cycle time.
Mm-hmm.
They'll only take so many charges before they screw up. And as you said, then you've got to go to an engineer to fit a new battery.
Mm-hmm.
Or your daughter-in-law.
Now, or your daughter-in-law, yeah. Carrie does. But a lot of these phones that were bursting into flames, remember when they were charging and overheating in people's pockets and exploding?
The Note 20, I think, was one of the big phones that used to do that.
If you look back through the data, most of those who were exploding were the ones that had had a new battery fitted by an engineer.
Interesting.
Mm. Oh, you'll be surprised what lists I look at, mate.
Yeah.
You'll be very surprised.
You might have heard, I mean, when it did happen, but to prevent the phones from actually setting fire, they actually pushed out an update for the Note 20s, and they actually bricked every single Note 20, right, that was connected to the internet. They actually forced an update which bricked every single phone. Now, obviously, some people did actually bypass that, but the thing is that Samsung were claiming liability, right, and they were claiming responsibility, and they actually did compensate those that had a Note 20 at the time.
Oh, that's not the one.
Samsung Galaxy Note 20. They were called, basically with a stylus pen. Obviously, now you got the S20, S21, S22, S23, S24. Then you've got the ultras, the pluses, and that. But I mean, what I'm paying at the minute, well, forgetting about the phone contract, what I'm paying at the minute for the airtime plan, it's nowhere near as much. Now, if I wasn't with Virgin Media before, so if we hadn't migrated over and we was with O2 beforehand, I would have been spending around about £30 a month. In fact, just over £30 a month for an unlimited data, unlimited text, unlimited minutes SIM, and that's a 30-day rolling as well. So I'm saving a lot of money by being a an old Virgin Media customer, effectively. So
Well,
because they give us discounts.
My own personal phone,
crap.
if I went,
What?
What?
You're an ex-Virgin client, so you'll get discounts. Bull crap.
No, I don't. They're giving us discounts. But what I don't, but and I asked them why they're giving us discounts, and they said it's because we were Virgin.
No, it's because they want you to stay with Virgin.
But well, no, because we're not with Virgin anymore because it's O2 now, isn't it? So
they're trying to entice you back.
Yeah.
They want to keep you as a customer, but the fact that they're what are you paying, Jack?
Well, if you're excluding the phone contract, about £17 a month. That's with the disc, with the discounts applied.
My SIM only is under a tenner.
Moo, we one was in this channel long before you, mate. She's been around and been a friend for quite some time. But no, I'm not frightened of the tech anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I will not pay for something that I don't need.
Yeah. Well, that's
like
the reason why I went
out and paying for a hooker. You don't need it if you've got a good wife. You know what I mean?
That's the reason why I phoned them up the other day, because we had an issue with because you couldn't access our bills, so we couldn't see how much we were paying a month. Right now, Virgin Media were doing or Virgin Mobile, they were doing things differently before the migration. Now, I don't know how in the world they weren't doing this, but they weren't including the VAT on the final price of the bill. It was always giving us the final amount excluding VAT. They wouldn't, right?
They do that, make it sound better.
But from February it actually went up. So January we were paying a certain amount a month. Then February it went up, and I'm thinking, hey, what's going on here, right? And apparently it's because of the VAT. Apparently they added 20% VAT on because they're using a new billing system. O2 is now, and I said, well, don't you think it would have been handy and nice to actually let people know that you're going to be utilizing a new billing system which includes the VAT on top, right? Because they didn't tell us, they just did it, right?
You'll be surprised that if you were running the household yourself and whatever, you'll be surprised how many bills come out excluding VAT.
Stupid though, isn't it?
It's just the way they work, mate. It's just the way they work. Yeah, take care, Jen. We'll probably catch up with you on Facebook or somewhere tomorrow. Apologies for the cock up earlier. It was out of my hands. I was just about to give up when I managed to get live. So, but I won't be going on for too long tonight. But but I feel a little bit better now. I mean, last week I was just so shattered. Yeah, I wrote it off to the excitement of the weekend, the wedding and everything else. But as Pap knows, the fatigue can hit you at any time for any reason. It doesn't need a reason.
Yeah.
But last week I was just so knackered. I mean, I was sat here trying to put videos together, and I was ending up with my head on the table asleep, or I'd put my chair back to look at something on the TV, and I'd be asleep for an hour, and that was happening through the day,
Yeah.
And mine's nowhere near as bad as Dan's, so God knows how he deals with it like he does.
How's he doing at the minute?
Yeah, we got there in the end, Jen. Take care, sweetheart. I'll catch up with you tomorrow. As I say, I'm not going to go on for too long tonight
Yeah.
with all the excitement earlier.
Hmm.
But
How's he doing at the minute anyway?
Missy's off as well. All right, Missy, take care, sweetie. No, the thing just disappeared, so I went live, but yeah, I'm not too bad now.
How's Dan and that?
Yeah, he's fine. He's going to be doing a live Sunday night.
Okay.
Well,
Law members.
normal public live. Last week
okay.
would have been the members only.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was going to go live on Sunday night, because he'd already told me he wouldn't be. But I was just too knackered to even come up for an hour. I wouldn't have lasted, so I didn't bother. But he will give everybody an explanation and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a family issue, so I won't say anything about it.
Yeah.
But it's not concerning his health, put it that way.
Yeah.
You know, he's still the same person. He's having a bit of fun as well. He's been out a couple of times and what have you. But I think the biggest one, Tell in London, is coming up on Heather's birthday, which is the St. George's Day thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that is going to, whichever way that goes with the police and everything else, that is going to show what they're intending to keep doing in London.
Mm-hmm.
If there's supposed to be a big parade, well, not a parade, but a gathering, not a protest. It's a celebration. It's far from a protest, although there will be the ones protesting. But how they handle that is going to set the stage for the rest of the year, I think, in London. If the police go in mob-handed and start battering people, then I think it will go right off, because people have had enough of it now. We saw that with the protest, was it last Saturday, I think it was. They got a little bit close to Sadiq Khan's house. It was the anti-ULEZ demonstration. Now, those guys, they're not a big protest by any stretch of the imagination, but they've been doing them on a weekly basis for over a year. Usually, they don't have hardly any police near them because they're peaceful. They don't disrupt anything. They're not all over the road and stuff like that. But because Khan was frightened, all of a sudden they've got a massive, well, not a massive, but a lot bigger police presence than they had. And an hour or two into the protest, they were only protesting until 3:00. They openly told the police that, you know, we've never needed you before. You've never had to arrest anybody before. But the police went in and provoked a situation where they could arrest people.
Which is wrong.
Because they could. People are saying it was on Khan's orders. Well, that I wouldn't put past him. I've said before, we know how these people like to use the police as their own personal security when they're feeling frightened. But it just proves that, and it showed it in the videos, the police just provoked the situation to make it look like they're doing something. And I think if they try and provoke this one on the 23rd, I think they're going to come.
See you later, Gabby.
See you, Gab. Take care, darling. I would suggest everybody on the 23rd hangs a Union flag or St. George's cross outside their house. Just to show them that we're not going to take this shit. This is our country. I mean, I've got my bigger one on the wall there, and I've got two smaller ones in the front window. I haven't had any complaints yet. Even the Jehovah's Witnesses who turned up on the doorstep this morning and got sent away with a flea in their ear, they didn't even mention it. So why they would, I don't know. But being as everybody seems to be taking offence to it lately,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Right. It is almost 10 o'clock. I'm going to head off, get myself something to eat.
all right, mate. Appreciate you sticking around
Yeah,
and dropping
no
in.
worries.
You're always welcome. You know that, mate.
Thank you very much. All right. Well, you take care, Roger. Everyone
All right,
else,
buddy.
take care. Bye, guys.
Look after
Bye,
yourself,
Jack.
bud.
Bye-bye.
Well, we got there. StreamYard is working as it should. As I said, I'm not going to keep going for too long. It's already been a long day, and it's really screwed my eyes up again. Trying to go live. I can't believe that. It's a night of all nights. A busy night on the air, yeah, I could understand, but middle of the week, why bother, you know? But anyway, guys, in the chat, have you got any questions or anything you want to talk about? As I say, I've got a bloody great pile of notes here, and none of them are in order. And I doubt if I could focus on them if my eyes work properly anyway at the moment. Oh, yeah, we got old Raina still in hiding, isn't she, over a council house shit. But as I said, corruption goes hand in hand with these politicians anyway. But it looks like she's going to be out on her ear the way things are going. Crazy. I own nothing but control my millions. Yeah, nice one, Moo. Have your numbers changed due to changing day and time? To be honest, Highbox, viewing numbers on the lives stay pretty constant, no matter which day I do it. My videos are another matter. At the moment, I seem to be getting a few more views than I normally do. Whether it's YouTube putting me out there a bit more, I don't know. I've gained a few more subs. But as I said earlier, I don't really promote my channel that far and wide. I've never really wanted a huge channel. I've always been open about that because I like to keep in touch with my subscribers. And if you've got too many, it becomes a bit of a job. We do. I won't say we're getting any more comments on the videos than normal, but they are slowly creeping up. I mean, I know there are ways of promoting the channel through YouTube by putting them in different lists and stuff like that. I've got to go through stuff like that to try and find out how all that works. But all right, Dale. Yeah, nothing but a nightmare tonight, mate. We couldn't go live earlier. It was it was near 9 o'clock, wasn't it? 8:30, something like that, before we could even go live.
25 to 9.
Due to issues with YouTube. Luckily enough, touch wood, it wasn't just me. And if anybody's moaning that I seem to be smoking a lot, it's because that's all I've got left. And once that's gone, that is it. No more smoking. So if I kill my throat with it tonight, then I won't have any to smoke tomorrow, which is a good thing.
You're not having none of mine.
No, you're not allowed to give me any of yours. Well, you should be giving up as well.
I am
Because,
when these are gone.
I mean, you've got a bigger chest than me to look after, you know. And a way bigger set of lungs, I will add. Yeah, it wasn't the PC that crapped out, Loaf. It was actually YouTube. They actually put a notice on the live streaming side of things and on StreamYard, funny enough, that you couldn't schedule a live or go live because they were having issues. It just said their engineers are looking into it. And as I said earlier, I was just about to shut the computer down and piss off to bed. I thought I'd give it one more go. And the banner had disappeared. The message had disappeared. So I thought, okay, let's go for it. And I was live before I even knew I was. I was asking Heather to look at her computer to see if it was live. She said, oh, yeah, I can hear you. But, it wasn't just me. Other people have said that they had issues earlier with either scheduling a live or going live. So it's just another one of them YouTube glitches. I believe they're making a lot of changes to the platform, which usually means it isn't very good for us. Because it will mean more censorship. And I've always said I think that's what they're doing with all this downtime and glitches. I think they're actually putting things in place, although they're not using them yet. But there again, thinking about it, all the retail outlets that had issues with Windows after an update, that seems to be the reason the retail outlets fucked up, like Sainsbury's or whatever it was. But I've had 2 updates today from Windows. So whether that upset the balance or what, I don't know. But it does seem strange that there's a lot of it going on. Woo, went right out of focus then. What was going on then? Or is that my eyes? Okay, no. What's going on here?
That's the camera.
Am I in focus on your laptop?
No, it's the camera.
I thought it looks well fuzzy through my glasses. It don't look too bad without them.
It looks bloody awful.
What the fuck is going on there? Hang on, let me turn the camera off and turn it back on. Stop camera.
It's not even focusing on me.
Start camera. Maybe it's getting a bit warm up there. I don't know.
Right, it's just gone off on my screen and come back. No, it's still out of focus.
Right, let me...
Oh, your hand's in focus.
There you go, I'm in focus there. Yeah, it's the autofocus on that. I thought I'd put it on manual focus and set it.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Fucking hell. I'm not having a... Oh, God. And you want to go out now, don't you? Yeah. Yeah, I want a little cat.
I was just going to say, what's all that all over the floor? But it's a mouse and one of my hair bubbles.
That's her toys, isn't it? She doesn't play with normal toys. No worries, iBox. I'm going to be shutting down very shortly myself anyway. 10 o'clock is my cut-off time, which is really weird time to set for me because my bedtime normally is 9 to 1:30. I do have
Unless you're on with
streaming.
Dan, in which case it's 3 in the morning.
On a Sunday night, but that's been regular now, shut down at 12 o'clock. Yes, Steve, but she won't go out there and do it. She'll go out there, mooch around, then come back in and shit in her tray.
No, she's just been in her tray.
Is she? Oh,
Yeah.
that's probably why she wants to go out then. She is a weird little thing. Right, guys, I am going to leave it there for tonight. I'm sorry it's a short one, but as they say, it was out of my control. Not that I'm ever in fucking control, but put tray outside. Yeah. We've tried that. She's got the biggest litter tray going out there. But she'll go out there for a piss and then come in here for a dump. But guys, thank you for sticking with it tonight and dropping back in once we did get get going.
Rover.
Take care, Rover. And you saying I'm an old dog? You bang on. And not getting any younger either. But don't forget, Sunday night, all fingers crossed, Dan should be up with a live on the Police Abusing Powers channel. So until then, guys, as always, look after yourselves. Don't let them get to you. Bit rough. Oh, I'm well rough, wee one. Don't you worry about that. But we got there in the end. But good video coming tomorrow. This is one I've worked on today. I've got to record it tomorrow, but I've got all my notes made up and everything I want to insert in it is ready in a certain file, ready to go in. So hopefully that should be straightforward and give me a bit of an easier day. But until then, guys, as always, stay safe. Stay absolutely strong and always stay free, no matter what they throw at us. Respect people, look after yourselves and each other. Do you want to say goodnight?
I'll go on then. Night, everyone.
See you guys.